Ann Coulter, 11-time New York Times bestselling, or is it 12 times now, Ann? New York Times bestselling author Ann Coulter, who's the author of the new book, In Trump We Trust, on the line right now. And we are seeing the mainstream media engage in the most vicious of attacks against Donald Trump here, 20-something days from the election, as it seems like they're pulling out all the stops. It's almost desperation by the mainstream media. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they're that confident of Hillary's 50-state sweep with these insane Hail Mary passes. Incidentally, apropos of your last guest or caller, no, I am voting 100% for Trump. It is only for Trump. He is the only one who will build a wall. He is the only one who will not take us to war with Russia. He's the only one who will stop the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I mean, we know both my ex-party, Paul Ryan, got a standing ovation from the Koch brothers, a month, 6 weeks ago, for saying he was going to push through TPP. This is the ruling class against the American people. They want to ship your jobs abroad. Any they haven't already shipped abroad. They want to replace you, just dump the country with low-wage workers, as Bernie Sanders himself said last year, before he made a deal with the devil. Open borders, that's Koch brothers stuff. Shocking Ezra Klein of Vox, by the way. People who care about the working class and now the middle class, when you have Disney workers training their replacements and Silicon Valley computer programmers training their replacements. This is the rich elite against the people. And if the people can't see through this nonsense to vote for it, oh, well, I'll build a bunker, I'll hire the cheap labor. Their jobs are the ones that are going to be gone, and it's their children who are going to end up being begging babies when this entire country becomes Brazil with a very, very tiny elite, and the rest of us, their servants.
Now, Ann, I know we've talked about this a little bit offline. I think the way you nuke the mainstream media here is if you look at CNN or MSNBC, these, cable channel news outlets depend entirely on the bundling of cable, right? So when you pay your cable bill, right, to anybody out there is paying $100, $120, whatever it is, some of that money's going to the cable company, but then there's a bunch of the money's then split up among all the channels, most of which you're not watching. So if you never even watch CNN, but you're paying a cable bill, you're paying for CNN. So if you unbundle cable, you pull a significant source of their revenue out from under them. Do you think this is something?
Liberals, you're completely right. Liberals rely on not having to engage in the competitive marketplace. I mean, people who like Breitbart or radio, you are dependent on attracting listeners, attracting viewers. That's why we have the phrase clickbait. And when you sit back and wonder, how can they put this schlock on night after night on television? Do they just not care about the ratings? I mean, back when Fox was the conservative station, it was strange how CNN and MSNBC just took the position, we don't care. We don't want viewers. We are not going to appeal to at least one half of the American people. Well, they don't need to, because as you say, they get paid whether anybody's watching or not. They don't need to put on people anyone wants to watch. They don't need to talk about subjects anyone wants to talk about. And it's interesting, in the most exciting presidential election year and the most consequential since the founding of the Republic, the cable news stations covering it, their ratings have barely budged. I think they went up more for Romney and against an incumbent, probably the most boring election in recent memory. Their ratings have barely budged, but as you say, it doesn't matter. And none of this will change unless Trump is elected. But the main point is, Hillary, forget the hot mic tapes from Trump. Openly in front of 20 million people, Hillary is saying she wants to go to war with Russia. This is great for people who make the armaments. It's great for the people who can love to engage in geopolitical strategy. I think Americans are sick of war. We've been saving the rest of the world. We need to save ourselves.
Now, if Trump wins this thing, do you think he should, with his, Federal Communications Commission, look at the policies? Canada actually just did this. I can't believe I'm praising another country, but it did shake up their media establishment up there. Especially Canada, by the way. When I say I can't believe I'm praising another country, but when Canada did this, it did shake up the media establishment up in Canada when they unbundled cable. If we did that here, I mean, would that decimate CNN? Would that destroy the MSNBC's ability to continue pushing these narratives?
I think they'd continue, but they'd stop putting nonsense on. They put on things that people actually want to watch. Maybe we could have an informed citizenry. Wouldn't that be great? I understand. I'm always quizzing millennials, and pretty much nobody under 50 watches TV. And it's mostly Netflix. They watch lots of stuff on the computer. But I mean, TV is great, especially when you get older and you have responsibilities. I realize I'm rarely actually looking at a TV screen. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm paying bills. It's just on in the background. It's easy to switch during commercials, but even I, who love to hate watch, I can't watch this nonsense anymore. It's just nonstop slander and silly slanders. Not even like clever ones where you have to figure out an answer to it, like this business about Trump admitted to a sexual assault. No, there were only 3 sentences, and one of them was, they let you do it. That is by definition not an assault, besides the fact that this is all just bragging and chit-chat in private. Isn't it interesting? I do a lot of TV. Even people who have done massive amounts of TV, even professionals, everyone is on hot mic saying things of all sorts of varieties that they would not want broadcast to the world. And as far as I can remember, there have only been 3 hot mics that have ever been revealed to the world. One Donald Trump, one Bill O'Reilly, one Laura Ingraham. Can we get some of the liberal hot mic discussions?
No, because they hide all of that. They edit it out.
Conspiracy that the media is against Trump. It's crazy. No. But it's perfectly rational to say Putin is behind everything.
Yeah, no, I think I don't think we're ever going to end up with liberal hot mics, because these people that work at these media companies are going to do everything they can to protect all of these people. But if you look at, I'm looking at the Drudge Report right now. It seems like all of these allegations, fresh allegations over the course of a week, are just completely crumbling right in front of us. We've seen now Trump's butler has debunked one of them. We saw the passenger on the plane from 30 years ago, and now she speaks out?
Until now. Yep, never told anyone until now. I was just responding. Somebody tweeted out. I saw it this morning. Well, this morning for me, I'm in L.A. Somebody tweeted out, "Why did you believe Juanita Broderick, but you don't believe the Trump's accusers?" And I ran out of time and had to get coffee. Number one, Juanita Broderick had 4 contemporaneous witnesses. Couldn't elaborate on this on Twitter, but let me throw in. One of them was her roommate at that conference, who came back to the hotel room, and Juanita's crying, her pantyhose ripped. She has a bloody lip. They left the nursing conference altogether because that was the hotel room where she had just been raped by Bill Clinton. She told 3 other people at the time. It was always known. 3 contemporaneous witnesses compared to Trump's accusers, who told no one at the time. No, they suddenly remembered 3 weeks before election. Point 2, it's 3 weeks before an election. Point 3, Trump has employed thousands of women, and lots of them young, attractive women. He has never, ever been accused credibly of anything like this. There was one thrown into a business lawsuit that went away as soon as the business lawsuit was settled, and that woman, for the past year, has been peppering the Trump campaign with fawning emails. I'm on the Trump team. Our friendship and let me be your makeup artist. He responded by posting all of those. So you have a man who's first introduction to America was lying to the American people. That's his hello handshake after the Super Bowl ad. These stories about and accusations had dogged Bill Clinton from the moment we met him. The Jennifer Flowers tapes, Paula Jones coming forward. Never has there been a hint of impropriety from Donald Trump, despite thousands of women working for him, despite his being a celebrity and being very rich. Number 4, media will ignored and belittled, was horrible to Bill Clinton's accusers, with Juanita Broaddrick, even after NBC News spent months investigating her claim, determining that it was very credible. They held it. They held that until after Clinton's impeachment trial. Wow, today any nutcase, any publicity-seeking nut is going to get 30 minutes on Cooper Anderson just for saying, "Oh, Trump groped me." So the media reaction is quite different. Let's see, what else is there?
I'm actually looking at right now on these WikiLeaks emails, which, by the way, the entire mainstream media, which spent years praising Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, and now seems to have forgotten his existence. But I'm looking at an email right now from January 7th, 2016, where Clinton lawyer David Kendall from Williams Connolly, the law firm, is sending John Podesta a giant file of opposition research on Juanita Broaddrick and trying to debunk the allegations. They're still spreading stuff about these people. And Hillary Clinton was intricately involved in trying to attack the reputations of these women. That's another thing that I think is significantly different between.
5. Juanita Broaddrick only told the truth. She was a very reluctant witness. She did not want the publicity. She did not want to be attacked by the media. She did not want a book deal. She was the opposite of these publicity hounds today who are just desperate to get on TV, to be the new this week's mattress girl, so the media can obsess over them. Juanita Broaddrick finally told the truth under oath, surrounded by Ken Starr. She was called as a witness, and though she didn't want to tell the truth, she reluctantly did tell the truth. And the only reason she did that one interview with Lisa Myers on NBC was she knew she was going to be slimed, and she said, "I'm going to tell the truth one time to you because this is the truth." And she went back to her farm, and that was the end of it. There are a lot of reasons to believe Juanita Broaddrick. Even Michael Isikoff, by the way, I must say he does care about truth. He may be a liberal and a mainstream media reporter, but he's a great reporter and he cares about the truth. And he's calling on NBC to release the full Juanita Broaddrick interview, which has never run.
Now, why do you think it is that they've never run this? And we look at the other women too, and we see the way that I think a big part of this story is that Hillary Clinton was intricately involved in helping Bill get away with this stuff, with Juanita Broaddrick, with Paula Jones, with and so on and so on and so forth.
She knew. I mean, the fact that after this had gone on with Jennifer Flowers and Dolly Kyle Browning, the Arkansas State Troopers became, a phrase associated with the Clinton administration, the same way expletive deleted was associated with the Nixon administration. Monica Lewinsky comes forward, and Hillary Clinton goes on TV and says, "This is a vast right-wing conspiracy conspiring against my husband." She knew that was true with Jennifer Flowers, and she went on that big 60 Minutes interview after the Super Bowl. That was their hello handshake to the American people, and both of them sat there and lied, with Hillary suggesting that Jennifer Flowers was some sort of nut. And people who didn't live through it may forget this. Jennifer Flowers produced tape recordings of Bill Clinton saying to her, "Well, if you deny it, there's nothing they can prove." Clinton said that was untrue, and the entire media said, "Oh, we don't believe these tapes," much as they're doing with the WikiLeaks tapes. And yet, also on the tapes, Clinton said about then governor of New York, Mario Cuomo, how he seemed mobbed up. Clinton apologized to Cuomo for something else on the tape. But the part where he's telling Juanita Broaddrick, if I don't say anything, if you don't say anything, they can't prove anything. No, that part we're not believing. Tape recordings of this. But I must say, I think people see what's going on. It's 3 weeks before an election. I don't think we should be pulled into disputing this. These are nonsense claims. We knew they would do anything to stop Donald Trump because the ruling class, they do very well in Brazil. They get lots of cheap labor. They have international organizations. This is George Soros, the Koch brothers, the rich and powerful. They'll use either the Democrat or the Republican Party. This is not Republicans versus Democrats. This is the uniparty against the American people. And let's just hope the American people wake up and see what their future is like under Hillary Clinton with this breakneck importation of people whose religion teaches them that we are infidels and they should kill us. With her call to amnesty all 30, 40, 50 million illegal aliens here, and how many will come running across the border after that. Dumping low-wage workers on the country, dumping welfare recipients on the country, dumping jihadists on the country. That's their vision. Well, that isn't good for most of the people living here, and hopefully they'll see through the nonsense the media is going through now. Obviously, the media / Hillary Clinton campaign, also known as the Hillary Clinton campaign, they know that enough Americans are waking up that they need a lot of Hail Mary passes right now, and that's what we're getting.
And so, Ann, the last thing I want to ask you about here in the last few minutes we got left is specifically, what does Donald Trump have to do to get past to get through this, to get his message around the mainstream media?
I think he has to, at this point, I understand, and I think it's appropriate for him to angrily denounce these false accusations. I think he should let the rest of us handle that, and he's got to go back to the issues and say this is the Koch brothers and Carlos Slim and George Soros against you. Do you want jobs? I'm going to build the wall. I'm going to deport illegal aliens who are felons, who are arrested, who are in jail, who are taking welfare that's meant for our people. I'm going to renegotiate trade deals and bring jobs back to America, and I'm not going to get us involved in another pointless war that the generals want and the people who will have to fight it do not want.